Hi, I'm Carrie Gatto, and I'm with Keller Williams Realty Cambridge, Somerville. And I'm here today to interview a local Somerville business owner, Lexie Griffith, with Lexie Butterfly Vintage. And I'm so excited to learn more about her and her business. Welcome, Lexie. Hi, thank you so much for being here today. So I just want to jump right in. And for those of us who don't or aren't familiar with your business, can you just give us a brief description of your business?
Totally. My elevator pitch is that I sell rainbow, psychedelic, hippie, vintage clothing and accessories with a specific emphasis on the 60s and 70s, but spanning all eras pre Y2K that are like rainbow, joyful, happy clothes.
Oh my gosh, I love that. That is so cool. I happen to believe I was Janis Joplin in a former life, so I'm right with you.
Rock on. I love it. I definitely feel like I was maybe born in at Woodstock or something, and then my spirit like came along much later, and definitely feel like I'm in the wrong era a lot of the time.
And why did you choose this profession or this particular business?
So it's an interesting story because I've kind of had a passion for fashion and clothing, a passion for fashion my whole life because my mother was very fashionable and she worked in a clothing store when she was young. So she kept a lot of her clothing for me from the 80s and 90s. So I grew up loving that kind of stuff and just loving acquiring information about history and how items of clothing have another life before they get to us. So I had always kind of done that on the side. And I just recently moved to Somerville just over a year ago. And getting a job in the middle of a pandemic was a little bit difficult. So I figured, well, I have this passion that I've always been doing on the side that has been somewhat successful. So I might as well just lean into it and see where it goes. And it's been really successful. It's been a year of full-time business and I love it more than ever. And it's just kind of taken over my life.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
That's amazing. To start a business in a pandemic in a new town that you just moved to and it's succeeding. I mean, that's amazing. Good for
Yep.
you.
I feel like it's a
Um,
miracle every day.
and what would your customers say that they love most about your business?
I think the most lovable thing about it is that it's very happy, effervescent, and joyful, which is something that I think is missing from the fashion industry and the beauty industry in general. That I I try my hardest to present items and things to the public and to my customers in a way that is just pure joy. There are no strings attached. There's no like lifestyle I'm trying to sell other than just being yourself and being eclectic and fun and being a happy person.
Amazing. Yeah. And just so people know, you are primarily an online store, right?
Yes, I'm a primarily online store and I sell on lots of different platforms online, like Etsy and eBay. But I have my studio here in Somerville as home base. So it's a great opportunity for customers to reach out and come try things on if they want to pick something out for a specific event or if they just feel like seeing what I have in stock right now. But I also do pop ups around town and around the greater Boston area during the summertime and then holiday markets in the colder months.
Amazing. That must be so much fun.
It's fun. It's a lot of schlepping, but I'm in the best shape of my life, and it's gotten it down to a science. So it's all good now, and it is very fun.
And tell our watchers where they can find your store
So you can find my
or your
store
event.
on, yeah, online on Etsy. You can see my current selections on Etsy. My store is Lexie Butterfly Vintage, just without the E on the end because it was too many characters. So you can find it there online. And you can also contact me via Instagram. And my Instagram is at Lexie Butterfly Vintage. spelled with an Lexie, which is the best place to contact me and keep all of my details at your fingertips of where I'm going to be next. Like if it's a weekend, I'll likely be at a couple of different markets on the weekends. So you can see where I will be if you feel like coming out and having a fun time.
Nice, thank you.
Mhm.
And Lexie, what are your goals over the next year?
Oh gosh, over the next year, I think I set very conservative goals for my store just because things are a little bit of flux generally with the world, and we just kind of don't know where things are going to go. But I think having realistic expectations of my business is really important just for my own self-esteem, but um, making them obtainable is really good generally. So I think my goals for the next year are just to, think silly things like I'd like to double my profit margin from, this past year, like double the amount of profit that I made. But also I would like to continue to hone my image and hone the types of items that I pick out, get to know my customers more and more as the years pass so that I can provide what people are looking for that's still kind of within my aesthetic.
Sounds like great goals. And what would you say are your greatest challenges at the moment?
My greatest challenges at the moment, I think, are one, it is becoming increasingly difficult to find the types of items that I really like to stock in my store. So it's becoming harder to find them in an in-person setting. Um, so I find myself stocking a lot of my things via online or just like auctions and things like that. So that's a bit of a practical challenge. But I also think the mental and emotional challenge is really difficult in that some months are more successful than others. And a lot of small businesses deal with this, where you sort of measure your success along the same lines as you measure your personal worth because you're so entrenched in your business, and every decision that's made for my business is directly my decision. So when something doesn't work or something doesn't pay off or things are not going well, it's really easy to fall into that mindset that it's all your fault and you're terrible and why do you do this and why am I putting myself through this kind of thing. So those are really challenging times, but it's the quality of interactions with customers and the excitement of finding something new to share with your customers and just like the general love and appreciation that is shared through this business that pulls us out of those hard times.
Yes, and it's great that you have the self-awareness to know that it is a function of being a small business owner and being entrenched in your business, and that
Yes.
it is not a reflection of your self-worth. So,
It's true. So you have to like keep reminding yourself. I have like sticky notes up all over the place. It's like, no, you're awesome. It's gonna be okay.
affirmations are great.
Yeah.
I use them too. Oh, thank you for sharing that. And what were some factors that had you decide to choose this neighborhood, or was it a factor in choosing this neighborhood for your business?
So it's really interesting. The reason why we moved to the Boston area is because my husband is going to Harvard to get his PhD. So it was
Wow.
one of those kind of, okay, we're uprooting and we're doing this now, right? So like when your
Yeah.
partner has an amazing opportunity like getting to go to Harvard, those are just things you don't say no to. So it was like, okay, we're doing this is great. So we tried to find as central of a location as possible to Harvard so that he could commute very easily. And we ended up in this great little alcove of Somerville where we're surrounded by delicious restaurants, wonderful small businesses, and it's a cute, quiet little area. And I've just fallen in love with it. It's my favorite place that I've ever lived.
Wow. And where did you move from?
We moved here via Austin, Texas.
Oh my gosh, great. I just was in Austin for the first time last month.
Oh, great.
So
Did you enjoy it?
yeah, yeah, I want to go back. It wasn't
Yeah.
long enough of a visit. So it's a great area too.
Certainly, yes. It was fun while we were there for sure.
Awesome. And what are some of your favorite things to do in the neighborhood that you're in, which is the Spring Hill area?
Yeah, so Spring Hill
Yeah.
area, I feel like the most fun thing to do, this is going to sound so weird, and I will probably get over this in a few years of living here, but personally, my favorite thing to do right now is ride the T. I don't know why I find it so fun, but it's like, I guess it makes me feel like I'm connected to this really large, wonderful historical city where I can, like, the world is at my fingertips, or Boston is at my fingertips, where I can just pick a spot on the T
Mm.
on the red line where I'd like to go and just go explore. And that's super fun. But I also really love just going to see my new friends that I've made, other fellow small businesses that are, around this area, like the my fellow small business at Pizza Pies next door, and Manoa Poke just across the way. And I mean, they're just such wonderful people. So I love going out and doing that.
Awesome. Awesome. And what is something most people don't know about you?
Ooh, something people don't know about me. Well, I feel like I'm a constant oversharer. So I mean, there are just so few things that people don't already know because it's just like word vomit. But I think something that I take for granted from my childhood is that I am a Cherokee Native American. So I have
Cool.
these really strong and deep ties within myself that continue to manifest into adulthood, my appreciation for the land and native tribes and my heritage in that way, because there's so little information about it out there that I'm constantly digging to try to find those sorts of things. And I find myself trying my hardest to continue that heritage through my business and through what I do on a daily basis, to kind of share that piece that feels like it's way in the back of my subconscious, but bringing it more to the forefront as something to really be proud of, because I am very proud of it. But it's a great way to share it with my customers, especially through like stocking Native American jewelry, or like beautiful buckskin pieces and things like that that would have been traditionally made by native tribes. So being able to bring them into that piece of my history is kind of a cool element.
So cool. I love that. And anything else that you do besides work
You know,
for fun?
Carrie, I was thinking about this question, and this is the one that really stumped me, because I was like, this is what happens when your hobby becomes your job, right? Because
Right.
basically, thrifting and shopping and vintage and clothes has always been my favorite hobby. And now it has consumed my life as being my job. So when I think about, oh, I go on trips sometimes to go see lots of different thrift stores. Wait, that's work. um, I sew and I mend antique clothing. Oh wait, that's work. So I think my new hobbies have become just like what I enjoy doing around the neighborhood, just like going to see different small businesses and making new friends around
Yeah.
town, just kind of making connections there and finding all my different little bits of community, like going to events with the queer community and being part of that aspect of myself, and going to see other vendors at their events, and
Yeah.
makers, artists, supporting live music. Like I just saw a friend, Jesse De Silva, at the Burn, and that was amazing. So I love that there's so much live music around. So I guess some of those things count as hobbies.
They do. They do. And hey, if you love your job or what you do for work, then you're winning. So
Right.
nothing wrong with that.
If you never work a day in your life, then you've won.
For sure. That's awesome. Anything exciting going on that customers should know about?
Oh, it's something exciting. Well, yeah. So, a new interesting direction that I'm planning on taking during the colder months, now that we don't have as many in-person pop-up markets happening outdoors, is that I'm going to be focusing a lot of my efforts on upcycling and making new garments out of vintage materials, because a central
Oh,
goal of my store is to basically reduce waste, but also give customers the feeling of having something new. So I like to make custom made dresses and jumpsuits and pants out of already existing vintage materials like psychedelic fabrics and things like that that still fit the vibe, but it's made of something that already exists and would otherwise be thrown away or tossed or sit in a thrift store forever. So instead, we're going to make it into something new. So I'll be focusing on that and releasing some handmade garments in the months to come. And some that I'm particularly excited about, I managed to find some really brightly colored French terry cloth that I'm going to make super wide-legged sweatpants out of. So that's
That
very
sounds
exciting.
comfy.
Yes, and lots of bell bottoms in the future. So really excited to get started on that. So something to look out for. I'll be posting all about that on my Instagram. So if you want to turn on like post notifications, then you can be the first to know about this psychedelic adventure we're about to embark on.
Definitely. And what's the best way for people to contact you? Even now, if people have things they want to donate or sell to you, is that a possibility too?
Yeah, that's something that I offer, and it's sort of one of those things. I am not nearly as stringent as a lot of stores, but I have a couple of people who have taken advantage of this in our area too, where they either just like send me pictures of the thing, and I'll tell them whether I'm interested or not, just based on the photos, or they can bring something to a market or whatever. Like I'm very loosey goosey about all of that, so I offer different options, whether they would like to be paid in cash or Venmo upfront. I'm happy to do that, or they can get a bit of a larger percentage if they want to take a store credit. So it's kind of like that buy, sell, trade sort of idea. Buy,
Nice.
sell, trade store was one of my first jobs. So I love that structure and I love the freedom of that, to where people can kind of trade stuff in to get something new while it still works in a business standpoint for both sides. So I'm very fair and lenient when it comes to that. So yeah, absolutely. People can contact me through Instagram for that, or they're welcome to reach out to me on any of the platforms that I sell on Etsy or eBay. I check my messages constantly. I'm basically attached at the hip to my phone. So I respond pretty quickly. But if we meet in person, I'm always happy to like answer emails or exchange numbers or whatever, if someone prefers that method of communication. I'm a very open person and a very open business. So whatever works for somebody else works for me.
Awesome. Well, that's amazing. Thank you so much, Lexie. And it's so fun learning about your business. Again, congratulations on your success. I'm really happy for you. And I would encourage everyone to reach out to Lexie or follow on Instagram, and also check out her website, because the clothes truly are so fun and beautiful to look at. And I dare you not to buy something, because they're awesome and unique, just like
Thank
you,
you
Lexie.
so much. Yeah. Oh, thank you, Carrie. This is really fun. And I really appreciate the initiative that y'all are doing for our community. And I can't wait to meet you all. Thank you for watching.
Fantastic. Thank you again. Have a great day. I'll talk to you soon. Bye,
Right.
everybody.